back, relax, and maybe get yourself a snack. Me and you gonna have a little chat about books. Hey guys! So it is Friday today, and that means Friday Reads, which is super exciting. I have another haul to show you guys as well, because this week I gained quite a few books and I'm very excited about all the books that I gained. So I want to show you guys what I got, but let's start off by telling you what I'm currently reading and what I'm going to be reading over the course of this weekend. So today is the first day of July as well, which means that my wrap up and TBR for July will be going up really soon, probably in the next day or two. I'm currently reading 4 books that I'm actively reading. I don't know if I'm going to get them all done over the weekend, but I'm hoping I can at least get maybe 2 of them done, so let me tell you what they are. The first one that I'm currently reading is Poison City, which is by Paul Crilly. This one is an ARC copy. I think it comes out in August time. Yes, the 11th of August. So it's not out yet, but I want to get this one read by the time it is, and I'm hopeful that I will enjoy this one. I'm about a third of the way into it. It definitely reminds me a lot of Jim Butcher's writing style. The Dresden Files, it really reminds me of that, which is not a bad thing because I like that series, and it's kind of different because it's set in South Africa, so that's an interesting twist. It's about this talking dog and his fellow human who investigate crimes, and something happens to one of his friends, so they basically end up going on a mystery hunt and trying to figure out what's happening. I'm about a third of the way through this and I'm enjoying it so far, but I'm not quite into the story yet. I feel like it's going to get going really soon. So that's that one. The next one that I'm currently reading doesn't come out till I think October, and this is called The Countenance Divine, and it's by Michael Hughes. As you can see, it's an ARC copy again, so the final cover won't look quite like this, but it is a very beautiful cover. This one I haven't actually got very far with. I'm on like page 2, so I'm not very far into it, but I'm enjoying it so far, and I'm intrigued by this because it has such an interesting description and it sounds as though it might be more historical focused, so I'm very intrigued. Looking forward to getting into this. The next one I'm reading is The GRACEKEEPERS, which is by Kirsty Logan. I took the dust jacket off because that's what I do when I'm reading. This is the lovely inside cover, as you can see. I'm about 100 pages into this. It's not that long, so it won't take me too long to finish this one up. I'm liking it so far, but I haven't been fully gripped yet, so I'm intrigued to see whether I will be later on. And the final one that I have to show you that I'm currently reading is actually one that I got this week, and it was sent to me very kindly by Quarto Publishing House. This is Natural World, a visual compendium of the wonders of nature, and it's illustrated by Owen Davey and it's written by Amanda Wood and Mike Jolly, and it's part of the Curiosity series, which I love the name of. This one I was sent, as I said, for review, and it's quite long for a sort of information book. I think there are about 100 pages in this, and it's basically loads of facts and figures about various different animals from nature, things to do with them. So there's a lot of text and a lot of images. Really enjoying what I've read so far. I've definitely learned stuff already, so I feel like this is a really informative one. I'm not that far into it, I'm only about 10 pages in, but I am really enjoying what I've read so far, so I'm sure I'll keep you guys updated about this one. The other cool thing, I've actually taken the dust jacket off, but it came with a dust jacket. So this is the dust jacket, and the dust jacket actually opens up into a poster. You can kind of see, I don't know how much you can see, but it's a really, really long poster with all sorts of information, and you can like hang this on your kid's wall or whatever you want to do with it. So that's a really cool thing. It's massive, but it would be awesome to do that. Very, very intrigued by the whole concept, and such an interesting book so far, so I cannot wait to hopefully finish this one up. I'm sure I'll be able to finish it by next week. The next one, and probably the most exciting thing that has ever turned up, is the second one, or the companion novel to The Long Way to a Small Angry Planet, which is by Becky Chambers. So this is the second book. It's actually called A Closed and Common Orbit, as you can see, and this is so exciting because there are not many copies of this that have been given out, so I'm very, very grateful to the team at Hodder for giving this one to me. I have number 25, which is quite exciting. It's fantastic. I've already read this. I adored it. I read it in like a day, and it was fantastic. Every page got better and better. It was on the level, if not higher, than the first book, and I adored that one. It was so raw, it was emotional, it was human, it was it was just everything I needed and everything I wanted from the second Becky Chambers book, and I was so happy not to be disappointed by this. I think I was rather impressed by this, even knowing her quality of writing from the first book. Sometimes authors really go downhill. She didn't. It was fantastic. I loved it, and you'll see a full review of this very soon because I gave this 5 stars and it was fabulous, and I want to talk a bit more about it and get all of you guys to go and read it too because it is marvellous. So Hot Escape, you're amazing. Thank you so much for sending this to me. I loved it. The next things that they sent me are kind of interesting because the first thing I got in the post was this, which is part of a burned map. And then on the back it just says Frostblood. So this came in a letter on its own and I was like, what is this? I'm guessing it relates to a book, and I looked up the book and it sounded very interesting. So a few days later, this arrived in the post, which is an ARC copy of Frostblood by Ellie Blake, and I am very happy to have this. It says, affairs between fire and ice rarely end well, and it says, you've got the power to freeze your enemies with a single touch. Decades ago, your people conquered these lands, killing and enslaving the Firebloods, but some fires can never be extinguished. So that's all I really know about it, but it sounds very intriguing. It's a YA series, and it's the first one in that series. They gave me a super nice bookmark as well, like, very cool. So I always love getting a bit of swag. Some of the pages have like really cool ice stalactites hanging down, which is super cool as well. So very grateful to have this one, and I cannot wait to dive in and try this out because always looking for more exciting YA, and it sounds like this one is a good one. The next one I have is actually one I ordered for myself, and this is The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This is just a cheap Wordsworth edition. I have never read The Great Gatsby, and I was talking to Chelsea about it from the Reading Outlaw, and she is actually going to be hosting a read-along in the month of July for The Great Gatsby. I think the hashtag is GatsbyGab. I'm going to be joining in, so obviously I needed to pick up the book. It's tiny. I never knew that this was such a small book. For some reason in my head it was like 300 pages, but this is like just over 100, so I'm sure I'll be able to get through this soon. The next book I got comes from Hutchinson Press, and this is a fantastically awesome one because this is by CARRIE. It's called The Museum of You. I think you'll all agree the cover is absolutely stunning. I mean, the whole way around it's just gorgeous. So beautiful. Oh, it's just lovely. I love cut out stuff. So this is CARRIE Spray's newest book. It came out very recently. I have heard nothing but good things about this from Eleanor and Mercedes and various other people who've read it. They've all loved it. I really enjoyed her short story collection very recently, and I cannot wait to dive into this and hopefully adore this just as much. So very excited. Very grateful to have this, and I cannot wait to try it out very soon. The next book I was sent is this one. It is called A Whisper of Horses, and it's by Zillah Bethel, and it's being published by Piccadilly, who are part of the Bonnier Zaffair publishing house. I had never heard of this author or this book, but apparently it's pitched as the new classic in children's fiction, and it sounds like a lot of people in the office who sent this to me have really enjoyed this. It's quite short, as you can see, and it doesn't come out until August. No one in Landan has ever seen a horse. Apparently they died out years ago, but Serendipity has inherited a map from Mama that hints at life outside the M25 wall, a world she has never seen, a world where horses might still be found. Helped by a young smuggler boy called Tab and his flea-ridden dog Mouse, Serendipity makes her escape from the city, but the minister's men aren't far behind. As the children journey towards Wales, the countryside flourishes and they unpick their past lives and the lies they've been told. But can the children find the answers they are looking for, a true home and a new family? So it sounds very interesting. The next one I received is another one that I am hugely excited about, and that is Gemina by Amy Kaufman and Jay Kristoff. This is being published by Rock the Boat, and they were kind enough to send out an advanced reader copy to me. You guys will know that I read Illuminae very recently and adored it and thought it was just fantastic, so I'm so intrigued about this one. Again, it's in the same format as you can see. It's all filled with documents. I just think this is going to be fabulous, and I cannot wait to try it out and hopefully adore it just as much. I've heard great things from Eleanor and a few other people who've read it, so hopefully I will love it just as much. It's very heavy because the pages are so dense, but it's always a super quick read to get through these. The next two books I was sent by Nobrow, and I requested these ones. The first of them is Beautiful Birds. This is by Flying Eye Books, and it's written by Jay Rusen and E. Walker.
Very, very beautiful book. It's rhyming, it's poetry, it's absolutely stunning. I will have a review of this very soon because I've already read and really enjoyed this one. The next one that Nobrow sent to me is also published by Flying Eye Books, their imprint, and this is called Smart About Sharks, and it's by Owen Davey. Again, it's a beautifully published book, beautifully illustrated book, and this one is all about sharks. It's got lots of facts to do with them. And again, I will review this very, very soon because it was marvellous. And then, because I'm a booktuber and this is what we do, we had a booktube meetup last weekend, which was in London. It was just super fun to meet up with lots of people. I met Tracy from Flamingo Reads, Janet from Swirly Girly Reads, Jenny from Sunny Sweet Pea, Eleanor from Eleanor Reads Books, and my best friend Lauren came along with us, and then I was there too, and we had a really great time. Later in the day we also met Nicola from Robotnik, so I'll link all of their channels, and we also met a new YouTuber. She recently started a booktube channel and she's called Sophie, so I'll link her channel down below as well, and you guys can go check all of them out. But we had a fantastic time. It was so much fun to get together with them all and buy lots of books and talk about books and basically have a very bookish day, so it was absolutely wonderful. I will now show you guys what I picked up whilst I was out with them. Some of them are very exciting. The first of those is Hunters and Collectors by M. Sedaine, which is the author who wrote Theatre of the Gods. You guys know I adored Theatre of the Gods, and I will be putting up a full review of that soon, but this is his second book. It's not a continuation of the same series or anything like that. It is a standalone, I believe, but it's his new book and I'm very intrigued about what he's going to do. I believe it's about food critics. It was in one of my most anticipated SFF for the rest of the year videos, as you probably saw, so you can find out a bit more about what it's about there if you want to. But I have to thank Eleanor for this one because she actually spotted it first and then she bought it, and then I bought it off of her via a chocolate brownie later in the day, so very, very happy to have this. Thank you, Eleanor. The next one I have is actually one that is written by a YouTuber, and this is CARRIE Hope Fletcher's newest book. It's a fiction book, and it's called On the Other Side, and it's a love story like no other. I've heard from Eleanor that she really enjoyed this, and she connected quite a lot with the characters and found it really likeable. So it's not too long, and it's all about a character called Evie Snow, who is 82 when she passes away in her sleep, and then we go back and we follow her life and find out a bit more about what she did with it and like things like that. I think it has sort of magical realism undertones, I'm not sure. Very excited to give it a go though, and I'm sure I'll get to this soon. The next one I picked up is called The Chronicles of Amber, and you guys have probably heard of this if you know anything about fantasy because it's quite a well-known series by Roger Zelazny. I haven't read any of the Chronicles of Amber books. I'm not sure how many are in this one, whether it's like the first 5 or the first 10. I think there are 10 in the series. It's quite a chunker, as you can see, just under 800 pages, so it's a pretty long one, but I really like this cover, and I just think that if I'm going to collect this, secondhand is the way forwards, and this was a really nice cover, so I thought I will get it and I will give it a go, and I found this one in Scoop Books in London. The next one I found was one that I recently saw on Mercedes' channel, I think, and this is called The Life of Elves, and it's by Muriel Barbary. Very intrigued about this one because I've heard good things. It says, the villagers had never seen anything like it, dense white curtains of snow that instantly transformed the landscape. Not in autumn, not here in Burgundy, and on the same night a baby was discovered, dark-eyed little Maria, who would transform all their lives. So maybe they're elves, maybe they're raised by elves, I don't really know, but I'm very intrigued about it and I'm looking forward to sort of discovering a bit more. And the final one, and the only book that I actually bought at full price, I must admit, I got quite a few bargains. This one is The Geek Feminist Revolution by Kameron Hurley. You guys have seen this, I'm sure, floating around on Goodreads and on YouTube recently. Loads of people have been reading it and loving it. It's a non-fiction collection of essays all written by Kameron Hurley. Some of them are taken from her blog and some of them are new, and it's just fantastic cover design. Let's just say that first. I have read a couple of Kameron Hurley's fiction works and enjoyed them, but I think that from the tweets that she puts out and the way that she composes herself in interviews and stuff, I feel like this will be a really interesting read, to sort of see some of her non-fiction views and see how she goes about writing them. So I can't wait to give this a try. I know a lot of people have read it recently and loved it, and I'm sure that I will join that train. It seems like I've been getting more review copies recently, which is why there's been like little hauls in these Friday reads, but I quite enjoy having a little haul in the Friday reads. It gives me a chance to get into showing you guys what I've recently picked up. So that is everything. thank you guys all for watching. Thank you to all the publishers for sending me stuff, and I had such a good time at the meetup. I cannot wait for the next time we do one. Thank you all so much, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!
Thank you for watching my video today. Go pick up a book, then come back and chat with me again.